Welcome back to the files. If you're new here, this channel is where we open the cases that most people are too afraid to talk about out loud. The workplace ones. The ones where someone smiles at you every single morning, shakes your hand at the Christmas party, calls you a valued member of this team, and then, behind a closed door, signs a piece of paper designed to take everything you earned. Today's case is one of the cleanest examples of corporate entitlement I have ever read. And trust me, I've read thousands of these. This is the story of someone who spent 2 years building something from nothing inside a company that wasn't even theirs. Someone who hit every target, broke every record, and was this close to collecting the biggest commission check of their life. And then, their boss changed the contract. Quietly, secretly, hoping they'd never notice. They noticed. And what happened next is a 10-minute masterclass in why you should always read the employee handbook. Every single page. Let's open the file. Our narrator, let's call them Alex, had been in sales for about 6 years before joining this company. Mid-sized tech firm, regional office, the kind of place with motivational posters on the walls and a ping-pong table nobody actually uses. Alex was good at the job. Not just good, exceptional. The kind of salesperson who doesn't need a script because they've already understood what the client needs before the client does. Within 3 months of joining, Alex was the top performer in the entire regional office. Now, let's talk about the boss. Because in every great workplace injustice story, there's always a boss. His name was Director Marcus Webb. And Marcus was the kind of manager who needed the people below him to stay just slightly below him at all times. You know the type. He'd praise you in the Monday meeting and then take credit for your deal in the Friday report. He smiled with his whole face, but his eyes were always calculating. The commission structure was what sold Alex on the job in the first place. It was generous, unusually so. 10% on every closed deal above a set threshold. For someone with Alex's track record, that was life-changing money on the table. And then came the Coldwell account. The Coldwell account was the white whale of the regional office, a national retailer that every sales rep had been chasing for 3 years before Alex arrived. Alex spent 5 months building that relationship. Personal calls, custom proposals, late nights, weekends. And then, Alex closed it. A deal worth $2.3 million in annual contract value. The commission on that single deal? Over $180,000. And that's exactly when Marcus Webb started doing math he had no business doing. The day after the Coldwell deal was confirmed, Marcus called Alex into his office. Alex walked in expecting a handshake, maybe a bottle of champagne. Instead, Marcus was sitting behind his desk with a document in front of him, a pen already uncapped, and an expression that Alex later described as rehearsed calm. "Congratulations on Coldwell," Marcus said. "Big win for the team." And then he slid the paper across the desk. Alex looked down at it. It was an amendment to the original employment contract, a commission restructuring agreement, dated, and here's the detail that made Alex's stomach drop. 2 weeks earlier, before the deal was even officially signed. The amendment reclassified any deal above $1 million in contract value as a strategic enterprise account, which would be subject to a team commission split rather than an individual payout. Alex's share under this new structure, $14,000, down from $180,000. Alex looked up at Marcus and said, very quietly, "What is this?" And Marcus leaned back in his chair and said, "And I want you to hear this clearly. It's just a formality. The board decided enterprise accounts need team attribution. It's not personal, it's policy. Everyone's signing it." Alex asked to see the other signed copies. Marcus said they were confidential. Alex asked if this amendment had been approved by HR before the Coldwell deal closed. Marcus said the timing was coincidental. Alex put the pen down, picked up the document and said, "I'm going to need to take this with me to review." Marcus's rehearsed calm cracked Just slightly. It just needs a signature, Alex. It's not a big deal. Alex left the office with the document. And that night, Alex opened a laptop, pulled up the original employment contract and started reading. Not skimming, reading. Every clause, every paragraph, every footnote. And buried in section 14, subsection C of the original agreement, there it was. Any amendment to commission structure requires written notice, no less than 30 days prior to a qualifying event, and must be co-signed by both the regional HR director and the employee. Marcus had obtained neither. The amendment was unenforceable. But Alex didn't pick up the phone yet, because Alex had learned something important in 6 years of sales. You don't make your move until you have everything. The next morning, Alex walked back into Marcus's office and sat down, this time without being invited. "I've reviewed the amendment," Alex said. "I won't be signing it." The mask came completely off. Marcus stood up from his desk, actually stood up, and told Alex that this was not a negotiation, that the amendment had already been filed, that if Alex refused to sign, it would be considered insubordination and grounds for termination. Alex said, very calmly, "You can't file an amendment that I haven't signed, and you can't enforce a commission change on a deal that was already closed before any notice period began." "I've read the contract, Marcus. Have you?" The explosion that followed was something Alex described as both terrifying and clarifying. Marcus accused Alex of being a troublemaker, of not being a team player. He used the phrase, "after everything I've done for you," which Alex noted was particularly interesting, given that Marcus had done nothing except take credit for Alex's numbers for 2 years. Then came the threat that crossed the line entirely. Marcus told Alex that if this became a whole thing, he would make sure Alex's reputation in the industry was appropriately managed. He would tell people Alex had fabricated parts of the Coldwell proposal, that the relationship was already his, and Alex had just finalized paperwork. Alex nodded slowly, said nothing, stood up, and walked out. What Marcus did not know, what he had no way of knowing, was that Alex had placed a phone on the desk at the start of that meeting. Recording. Every word. Here's where the internet detective work began in earnest. That afternoon, Alex did 3 things in the following order. First, sent a formal written complaint to the regional HR director, attaching the original contract, the unsigned amendment, and a written summary of both conversations. Everything timestamped, everything documented. Second, forwarded the audio recording to a labor attorney, who confirmed within 24 hours that Marcus's attempt to retroactively modify a commission agreement on a closed deal was not only contractually void, it potentially constituted wage theft under the state's labor statutes. Third, Alex contacted 2 other sales reps in the office quietly. As it turned out, Marcus had presented the same amendment to 3 other employees. None of them had been told about the 30-day notice clause. 2 of them had already signed. With their permission, Alex added their situations to the HR complaint. The HR investigation took 11 business days. What they found when they actually dug in was worse than anyone expected. Marcus had been running a version of this scheme for at least 3 years, retroactively reclassifying high-value deals to reduce individual commissions and redirect the difference into a discretionary team performance fund that he controlled the allocation of, a fund, by the way, that had never once been distributed to the team. The labor attorney sent a formal demand letter. The company's legal team, who had not been informed of any of this by Marcus, responded within 48 hours. They settled, in full, every penny of Alex's original commission, plus an additional amount for the 2 colleagues whose signed amendments were retroactively voided. Marcus Webb was placed on administrative leave the morning the settlement was signed. He did not return. Update 1. 6 weeks after the settlement, Alex received a certified letter from the company's executive board. It was an offer to transition into a newly created senior account director role, remote eligible, with a revised commission structure reviewed and co-signed by 3 independent HR officers. Alex accepted. Update 2. Marcus Webb quietly disappeared from LinkedIn for about a month. When his profile reappeared, he had listed himself as an independent business consultant. His endorsements had dropped from 47 to 6. The Coldwell account, for what it's worth, renewed for a second year, and specifically requested to keep working with Alex. Update 3. The 2 colleagues who had already signed the illegal amendments received full back commission adjustments. One of them sent Alex a bottle of wine and a note that just said, "I thought I was the only one." You never are. So, was Alex wrong here? Was this too aggressive? Should they have just signed the paper, taken the 14,000 and kept their head down? I'll let you decide. But here's what I keep coming back to when I read this case. Marcus didn't fail because Alex was clever. Marcus failed because he was lazy. He assumed that because he had authority, he didn't need to follow the rules that came with it. He assumed that a contract was something other people had to honor, not him, not him. That assumption is the foundation of every story on this channel. The rules apply to everyone, especially the people who believe they've outgrown them. That's the file on this one. If this case hit close to home, if you've been in a room with a Marcus, drop a comment below. And if you're new to the channel, the archive is waiting. Every case, every document, every receipt.